Doge, he actually got onto Trump's cabinet. Elmo Musk. All actions of the Department of Government Efficiency will be posted online for maximum transparency. Anytime the public thinks we're cutting something important or not cutting something enough or wasteful, just let us know. We will also have a leaderboard for most insanely dumb spending of your tax dollars. This will be both extremely tragic and extremely entertaining. Number one on the leaderboard should be your fucking SpaceX subsidies. They're basically trying to privatize as much as possible in the name of efficiency and then try to buy companies within those sectors. Government service should not be measured in the same way you'd measure the performance of a for-profit corporate. Exactly. You know, that's one thing. People keep saying that about Trump. He runs it like a business. He's a businessman. He's running the country like a business. First of all, he's the shittiest businessman that ever existed. Number two, you don't run the government like a business. That's what taxes are for. You're supposed to allocate taxes from everyone into different sectors to take care of people's needs. Let me see. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Let me lower this a bit. Okay. Yeah. This is, and you know what? He's been bringing this up for a long time. I want more people to mention it, that he's been showing that freaking dog and writing Doge all over Twitter and bringing up Department of Government Efficiency and all this crap he'd like to do if he could cosplay somebody that helps run the fucking country. And now Trump has got him right in there. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Listen to this shit. A leaderboard for most insanely dumb spending of your tax dollars. You think he understands what dumb spending is? This guy is absolutely right. Number one on the list should forever be the amount of tax subsidies your businesses have gotten here. The amount of tax subsidies you have gotten here. That's my money. That's the reason you're a billionaire. That's your money, which is the reason that Musk is a billionaire. Leaderboard. It's America's just a stupid video game to him. God damn it. It always happens when someone new, who thinks they know it all, acts as something that they don't know shit about. They find out there's a very good reason for it and end up having to reinstate it. Hence the unintended consequences comment. Tja, another one who doesn't know how to run a fucking business. I think the problem this time around is that the goal is to break stuff, so there will be no fixing it after it's broke. They'll just run with the money after that fact. Goal of Republicans is always to break the government, campaign on the government being broken, so stupid people can reelect them, and then break it some more. Tax dollars are meant to be filtered into their pockets and their pockets only. bullshit about the polls makes me think Elon will post polls to government programs on Twitter so that he can claim he has millions of active users and not, that he tanked his company by 90% already. Yep. This is just a fucking nightmare. It absolutely is. And don't try arguing with me if you're a maggot and you're watching this, because all you motherfuckers are blowing up Google. How do I change my vote? What's a tariff? This is shit you're supposed to be looking up before you go and vote. And now that you're having regrets, it's too late to change your vote. Well, actually, it's not too late. You can join with all the rest of us in saying we want a hand recount. That would be nice. Americans desperately Googling how to move to Europe. Maybe we should all welcome them. Fucking Europe isn't going to take us anywhere. Europe isn't going to want to take us. If he ends up pulling us out of NATO, they will become our enemies. Do you know that? Those people are supposed to be our allies. NATO is supposed to be on our side. And you can kiss that goodbye. I'm really worried about that. I just saw When the Wind Blows for the first time a few weeks ago. I had never seen that movie. And yeah, it had to do with the Cold War. It was a mostly animated British film or a UK film that was put out in response to, in case you don't know, put out in response to the American miniseries The Day After, which came out in the early 80s, and it was about a worldwide global thermonuclear war that resulted in what's it called? Mutually assured destruction. Basically, the entire Earth is fried. And, Cold War shit. This is before the Soviet Union dissolved, but in Where the Wind Blows, or When the Wind Blows, that was pretty much like what happened. The Soviet Union, that's like really one of the only differences, is that it was still the Soviet Union. Soviet Union had pushed past Eastern Bloc countries, okay? So Ukraine, Belarus, Lithuania, Latvia, all those different countries. They found their way into Poland, and then from Poland, they went into Eastern Germany. And that's when NATO countries and allies said, no, that's too far. That's too far. So all of the NATO countries got their troops together, formed this little blockade, and they came in through Western Germany. And in this mostly animated movie, you have this simple, aging, retired couple that lives out in the countryside somewhere in England or Wales or somewhere, and they're hearing all this shit going on in Germany, and the wife, she doesn't know what the hell's going on, and the husband, he's all like, we made it through World War II, we made it through World War I, our government will know exactly what to do, because they're now getting notices, emergency notices over the radio consult your manual for possible nuclear emergencies. I guess in the UK, the government sent out this manual back then that was full of all these tips and like numbered lists of what to do if there was some threat of a nuclear attack. You see, over here in the United States, they just told us to duck and cover for like 30 years. And then in the 80s, like, nobody taught us in school to duck and cover. We just like ignored everything. But in the UK, they got this manual, and apparently it was full of a lot of useless shit. And the old guy is doing it because the government told him to consult the manual and everything will be okay. And it had shit like pull off your doors and lean them against the wall and nail them so that you have like a little fort to hide in case your house falls down around you. And then they had a tip like take white paint and paint the glass of your windows white because the white paint will deflect the flash of the nuclear blast and refract all the radiation. And he did that too. And pretty soon means like the next day, they hear on the radio that, now they're using nuclear weapons. And Russia is using them against NATO allies, and NATO allies are trying to use them against Russia, and one of these nukes, like, goes off, like, not too far away from their home, and their whole home is, like, blown up, and he and the wife managed to survive, but they have no idea that there's nuclear fallout and they're both dead. They just don't know it yet. And then over the course of, from what they have been exposed to, because they ended up sitting outside and like drinking the rainwater and shit, they ended up surviving for like 3 or 4 days before they died. And they also were instructed to keep identification with them and like wrap themselves up in bags so that they could be identified when people finally come to find their bodies. And that's what they do at the end, even though there's like a Morse code message of mutually assured destruction, which means there's nobody coming. Nobody is left. And I don't think all the shit people are worried about, and they're not thinking about the fact that Trump doesn't want to be part of NATO anymore. And they still want to say Russia has nothing to do with Trump stealing an election. Russia has nothing to do with Trump's interest. His interest is the American people. He wants out of NATO. NATO is an alliance of countries that ban against any possible Russian aggression. That is what it's for. And that's something about his presidency that's freaking me out. And I don't think it's freaking enough other people out because, like I said, I just literally saw the fucking movie. This is how it happened in those nuclear war miniseries. That's how it happened in The Day After. That's how it happened in When the Wind Blows. Russia versus NATO. And now he doesn't want us to be part of NATO even. Oh my God. Call me paranoid. I don't care. Trump says to House Republicans at GOP conference meeting, I suspect I won't be running again unless you say. He's so good, we've got to figure something else out. Yeah, he was never running for president. He was always running for dictator. So, Trump picked a Soros protege, Dick Cheney's advisor, other forever war neocons, a dog killer, multiple people who want to see Israel completely annex Gaza and the West Bank, a Fox host, and we're just getting started. Is this what all you Trump voters thought you were getting? I don't think Trump voters know who half those people are. But that Soros protege thing is especially funny. I thought people like me were getting paid by George Soros to talk our shit. Hell, you know what? I would gladly get paid for it. I never received my George Soros check. Look at Nick Fuentes. Look at all those right-wing talking heads. And it was like proven that a lot of them were right-wing Russian propaganda shills making money hand over fist. I sit here and I erupt my ass off. I got one person viewing me. The hell are you talking about? George Soros pays us. They wanted cheap eggs and cheap gas and to own the libs. Whether the world burns and democracy dies is absolutely irrelevant to many of them. Yeah, they won't get that shit either. As evidenced by the sudden surge in Google searches on tariffs after the election. You stupid fucks deserve exactly what you're gonna get. I don't know how many times I can put that Joker gif on Twitter. You get what you fucking deserve. Bang! It's really not funny, but must be nice to live so completely disconnected from the outside world. I just don't understand how it's possible to them. Yeah, because they watch Fox News. But they didn't even know that Biden wasn't running. That would entail not keeping up with reality for half a year. It means not having or even overhearing political conversation. What if it's weird? What if the reason that there were as many Trump voters as there were is specifically because they were thinking Biden was still running and they didn't see his name there, but they saw Kamala Harris's name there, but they didn't know who the fuck that was. But they recognized Trump's name. Oh my God, I wouldn't put it past a number of people. Every day when I read this shit, I get these new outlandish ideas, and it's probably the truth. The stupid in this country deserve exactly what they're going to get. The rest of us do not deserve it. It's bullshit. You know what? If it saves all of us, that's the difference between us. I agree with these people. There are too many fuckwits in this country who really don't give a shit who gets steamrolled, who gets harmed, whose life is completely destroyed, who dies, so long as they get to own them libs, them liberals, them Democrats. Me, if we could go back, if we could not have a red House of Representatives and a red-led Senate and a red-led Supreme Court and the presidency, if we could avoid destruction, if we could avoid losing everything we hold dear in this country or are supposed to, even though that means the other side isn't going to learn their lesson and get what they fucking deserve, I'd be for that. If it means nobody has to suffer, I would change things if I could. Them, they wouldn't, but I would. If they completely water down the FDA, they'll get cheaper eggs and groceries. But they'll also get sick from those things and have complications. And they'll blame it on Biden regardless. Saying they don't care implies they're intelligent enough to understand the consequences of their choice. I'm willing to bet the majority of them have no idea what they've done or what any of this means. Remember when a bunch of Republican fucks were like, you should take a citizenship test, or you should have to pass a test on the reality of our country and civics and whatnot before you're allowed to vote? Ugh. And like, people were laughing at that because, you know, most of the people they hate, and that includes immigrants or naturalized citizens or even illegal aliens, would most likely pass those tests with flying colors, and they wouldn't. Maybe we should have a test. Maybe we should say, like, fuck the ID, give people a civics test. Because these people would not pass it. And if they wanted to pass it and have a vote, they would actually have to learn facts. And then maybe it would sink in. Because if they knew facts, if they understood reality, they wouldn't be MAGA. They wouldn't be right wing. Don't worry, I'm sure the inevitable expansion of the for-profit prison system labor programs will offset the economic drain of the undocumented hordes. Look, eggs are already cheap, so is gas. What they want is that third one, and it's blowing their minds that the libs are just disengaging entirely and refusing to help. You'll have to live like COVID lockdown, but now you'll have friends. Grow your own food. Partner with others and figure out defense. The economy will crash, And if you're able to ride it out without hanging yourself, you can buy shit on the cheap. Holy shit. Someone tried to convince me on Reddit that Trump won because ground beef was $14 a pound, and Trump is going to bring that price down. When I told him that beef has never exceeded $6 a pound, I got crickets. Yep, I've been getting crickets on Twitter myself as well. Yep, if your uneducated ass thought this clown was a good idea, you get to wallow in the bullshit that comes with it. No. See, this is what I've been saying the entire fucking time. The problem is that now I have to wallow in it too. The problem is that you have to wallow in it too. Call it a pet peeve or call it something that everybody should hold dear in their hearts. I don't want dumb fuckwit people making decisions on my life. I don't want dumbass people in positions where they can make any decisions on anybody's life. Just the next season of Apprentice. You know how reality shows are. They keep getting wilder to keep their viewers. Again, my life is not a reality show. Your life is not a television show. This is reality. Uh-oh, new notification. Oh, yeah. I had fun last night. I'm doing all these stupid posts about who Trump is appointing for different department heads. Breaking! Trump names Howard Payne as Department of Transportation head. National speed limit of 55 miles an hour proposed. Breaking! Trump names Sam Bankman-Fried Secretary of the Treasury. Oops, I think my others are in replies. I could go all day. I love these joke bits. Breaking! Trump has chosen. Oh, that's hers. This is a little. I'm surprised she didn't get canceled for this because that's a little racist. But I put breaking: Pizza the Hut picked as Trump's new head of health and human services. She put Trump names Casey Anthony as director of the Department of Child Family Services. Breaking: Trump names Dr. Nick Riviera as Surgeon General. Trump also names Jeffrey Dahmer as Food and Drug Administration Commissioner. Ooh, what's this? Trending by Don. Oh, Don Lemon is leaving Twitter. Yeah, what the fuck? Don Lemon is leaving freaking freaking Twitter. For fuck's sake. I see by Don. And here I am, thinking this was some tag alerting me. To the breaking news that maybe Biden had threatened Trump today. Oh. Or Trump's getting arrested and hauled off to my state. But no! No! You had to ruin it for me, didn't ya? You all had to ruin it for me. The fuck do I care if Don Lemon leaves Twitter? Like 70,000 other people haven't left this past week. If J.D. Vance were a type of beer, what would it be named? I don't know. What would it be named? Maybe someone will come up with something cute. Although we don't want cute. What would it be named? Shit's the beer that gives you the shits. Ah. Robot oil, diet Zima, warm piss, schmucks, skunky sofa beer, tip shits, Zima, flathead, couch surface, or couch surfer, skunt beer, pisswasser, sheep shagger, Scotch ale. No, he likes the wool with some polyester stitched over it. If you're like me, your skin crawls every time you see this face or hear that voice. How do we get through the next 4 years? Look, I would gladly take looking at that face and hearing his voice like this, you know, hearing him go on, whatever. I can't do a good Trump, but I'd put up with it if we didn't also have a Republican Senate and a Republican House and a Republican Supreme Court. Him being in the Oval Office wouldn't matter if there were some fucking checks and balances on him, but now there are not. And that's something people don't get. Cool, we gave the dumbest guy all the money. So, Trump is going to build a new national university with free tuition, 10 new freedom cities, an impregnable Iron Dome missile defense system, fund Elon's missions to Mars, raise defense spending to record levels, finish the wall while cutting the overall federal budget by 33%. Yeah, because he's going to take all the money away from you. Trump University already scammed thousands, and now the next university will scam millions. The grift never ends. Remember, the last time we had an imbecile in the White House distracted with Star Wars and the Iron Dome, they hit us when we weren't looking on 9/11. Where's he going to get all this money? Stealing your Social Security and Medicare won't be enough. Lowering taxes on the ultra-rich, raising defense funding, his fantasy missile dome, his wall, his political camps, and the menstrual police are going to cost a lot. And while removing all the taxes, let's not forget his removal of the income tax. No income and no debt and unlimited spending. He's a demigod. Yeah, don't forget while he's golfing the entire time. I am revising my national debt prediction for when Trump leaves office for 50 trillion to default before he leaves office. National debt. We won't have a fucking nation when this shit's over with. Americans are going to be rioting in the streets the second this happens. How did we go from the party of small government to big government is now taking away your Oreos and Chewy Chips Ahoy? 80% of stuff on store shelves is about to be taken away from us overnight. This guy wants to ban Coca-Cola and Mountain Dew. Oh, God, what is this shit?
Or Germans or Italians or Japanese or Koreans or Australians or most any other comparable country. And it wasn't always that way until the early 1990s. Our life expectancy was the same or better than other developed countries. Then suddenly, more and more Americans began suffering.
Guy sounds like he's about to fucking die. And he's gonna lecture you on what you're eating. Now they want to control what the fuck you eat. This guy wants to take away your choice of what foods. I just don't see this country being okay. They're never gonna lose Doritos chips and Captain Crunch cereal. Dude, you know, chips and cookies and cereals are some of the cheapest staple foods on the market, by the way. It just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? It's not enough. All of your grocery foods are going to double and triple in price. Now the cheapest shit you can possibly buy is not going to be available at all. Jesus Christ. We're just looking for real ingredients, not chemicals and dyes. So, you want big government to regulate for us what we choose to eat. You don't want people to make their own choices. Got it. To be honest, the chemicals allowed in U.S. food products would never be acceptable in Europe. The Oreos will still be there. They'll just be missing the seed oils and chemicals not allowed in other civilized countries. Yeah, it's so hilarious how on board they're with this shit. Everything against their own interests. What the fuck ever happened to mocking the left because, we eat quiche and quinoa and shit like that? And now all of a sudden this loss is going to tell you that he wants to force companies to change the formulas of their foods. And now, you're all health conscious. All of a sudden you're totally for it. You fat, disgusting fucks can't live without your Oreos and your Mountain Dew. You'd never eat them again if they were like European formulas. White people finally found a dance they can all do. Ugh, that fucking Donald Trump dance. We're back. Yes, your lameness. Your lameness and horrible inability to dance is so back. They'll never be cool, but totally back. I just think it's crazy that white football players who rely on black teammates to protect them on the field continue to openly do this. Well, it's a lot easier now. That guy with the Trump hat, he got fined a whole $11,000 for that shit. All that crap he pulled and all the money he makes a year, and it cost him a whole $11,000 fine for showing off in a Trump hat after a game. So I'm sure they've all learned their lessons. Your funeral will heal the world. This man had his full government name and job in his bio and decided to talk shit to me on Instagram at 5 a.m. And I had him lose his job by the time 9 a.m. rolled around. You Trumpy motherfuckers need to worry less about immigrants taking your job away. I'll do that for you first. Get fucked. Slur word. Enjoy your next 4 years of peace and prosperity while you figure out what gender you're going to be tomorrow. Have the worst day possible, Elijah. LMAO. This is why I love you, Trump supporters. Just so fucking stupid, and don't ever think you will face repercussions for your words. Maybe don't say all that with your full name, occupation, and Teamsters number in your bio. Enjoy the meeting you have coming from the emails I just sent them with the screenshots. Oh my God, I want to see more. If canceling people with a 9 to 5 helps you sleep at night, good for you. But what helps me sleep is that you'll all burn in hell for who and what you are. Kinda really gay of you to take the time to search a gay word you found on Twitter all the way over on Instagram just to slide into my DMs, bro. I'm really not into slurs, but thank you for the offer. But you'll find a top soon, I'm sure. Oh boy. So what happened? Come on. MAGA's learning the hard way. Of course, they wouldn't dare say that in front of their boss, so you know it's 100% on them. Why the fuck are people so mad in here? He lost his job because of what he did. This is awesome. Yeah, it is. Super low to go after a man's job because you don't understand your own body. Jesus. Vicious, violent, intolerant left. Nope. Was it vicious, violent, or intolerant at all? Uh, I think you're mistaking me for someone who gives a fuck. Dude, this is hilarious. This is what the fuck happens. And they can't handle it. Oh, I'm going to have fun with this guy. I'll see ya.